Hi, I'm Shane with eCharger.com. Today I'm going to walk you through how to install Demco's diode wiring kit on your 2014 Chevrolet Captiva Sport. Diode wiring kit, as you can see, is going to allow us to transfer light signals from our RV to our vehicle while it's being flat towed, so that we're safe and legal, and other people are going to know what we're doing, whether we're braking, turning, or driving at night. It's going to be a very simple installation. It's going to give you the 4-pole wiring to run from the front of the vehicle to behind each taillight. You're going to have diodes that are going to connect to the factory wiring, and what the diodes do is not only complete the signal between your factory wiring and the plug, but also protect the factory wiring from any backfeed from the motorhome if there's a wiring issue, and vice versa, from the vehicle to the motorhome. A couple other types of wiring kits that are available is bulb and socket, which will work with this vehicle. Keep in mind, with bulb and socket, you will have to drill a hole in the back of the taillight. So in doing that, you just have to be careful to make sure that you get the hole the correct size, and then seal around that light once you get it installed. Another option is going to be magnetic lights. With magnetic lights, they're easy to use because you just stick them on the car. The thing is, you're going to have wire that runs up to the front of the vehicle. Once you're done with them, you have to find somewhere to put them, and you're going to have all that bundle of wire. You're going to have to store it somewhere. In my opinion, I think diodes are the way to go. It's going to allow us to use our factory taillights when we're not flat towing the vehicle. When we're just driving it normal, it's going to give us the normal functions. But it's also going to give us the functions when we are flat towing it to be able to use our factory taillights and bulbs from the motorhome. Now that we've gone over some of the features, let's walk you through how to get it installed. To start your installation, it's a good idea to go ahead and remove your fascia. It's going to make it a lot easier. Your kit's going to come with a bundle of wire to run from the front of the vehicle to the back. It's going to have 2 4-pole plugs on it. If you have an older motorhome that does not have wiring on it, what you're going to do is you're going to add about this much to the front, and then on the other end you're going to cut off about 3 foot. The 3-foot section is going to get added onto the motorhome, so that when you're towing the car, you're going to plug that other end into this end. If not, you're using an umbilical cord with a 7 to 6 pole, you're just going to cut your 4-pole plugs off. Once you get here, you're going to run the other end back to the back of the car. I ran mine back, and you can see I kind of looped it over here. If you'll notice these wires here, these are coming from my braking system. If you haven't already done it, you're going to need to put your braking system in. When you do, these 3 wires from your braking system are going to get tied in to the same 3 wires on your diode kit. So just make sure you make a loop, whether it's up in the engine compartment or wherever you have those wires running for your braking system. I went over top of my frame rail right here. Make sure when running it, you're staying away from anything hot or moving. You just don't want it resting up against anything hot or moving. So what I did is zip tied it right on this frame here. Found this existing wiring. You can see how I kind of ran it through, kind of zip tied it along the way, make sure it stays up. Ran it around my tank, back here, went up over the top of my rear axle, over to this side, my driver's side. I zip tied it right here, and then right here, to make sure it stays up. And what we're going to do, because we can't tie directly behind the taillights, we can't get our wiring up behind our panel to the taillights. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up through this grommet where this wiring is going through, and tie it in behind the taillights to the wiring inside the vehicle. Now I'm going to cut my 4-pole end off. I suggest leaving a little bit of extra hanging off the plug. If you have a trailer or something that may need wiring replaced, you can use that plug and tap it into your wiring on your trailer. So we'll cut that down. Then what we're going to do is we're going to separate the green wire off. We're going to cut a little slit in the grommet and then feed our wiring up through it. And really, if you don't want to separate your green wire until you get it up through there, that's fine. But your green wire is going to have to be run over to the passenger side. Next, we need to get inside the vehicle. You're going to lift your rear hatch up. Down inside the pocket, or the storage compartment, you can see that little flat-headed screw down there. It's a little plastic one, or a rather large one, I should say. But it is plastic. All we're going to do is we're just going to turn it until it loosens up. And then we're going to pull out this storage compartment. We're going to do that on both sides. You're going to pull this out. It may be a little bit trying. If you use a screwdriver, you take a chance of scratching this. If you have something plastic, you can reach in the side here, just kind of push these tabs in and pull this out. It'll pop out. We'll set that aside, and then our wiring's right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to strip this back and then test our wiring to determine which wires we're going to be using. We determined that going to be the blue wire is going to be our brake and turn signal, and the brown wire with the white stripe is going to be our running light signal. In your kit, you're going to get blue, and you're also going to get purple spade connectors. The purple spade connectors, there's only 8 of them. The blue ones, there's 12. I'm going to use the blue ones because the ends are a little bit bigger where you run the wires on, and I'll show you why here in a second. We're going to put on spade connector on our diode kit. And we'll take our brown wire. We're going to cut it, strip it, and then add the spade connector on each end. I'm going to go ahead and connect my diode real quick. What the diode's doing right now is completing that circuit. And we're going to take our brown wire we ran from the front. We're going to cut it to size, except now we're going to strip back both ends. I'm going to strip these back just a little bit longer. Add on our spade connector. Crimp it down, make sure it's got a good hold. We're going to add it onto the other end. What the extra wire is going to do is that's what we're going to run over to the passenger side with our green wire to give us our running light signal on the passenger side. The reason we can't use a yellow wire is because the yellow wire on this vehicle, the turn signal is amber, and you can't use it as a brake signal. With our wiring coming from the front of the vehicle, our diode kit, our brake and turn signals combined. So I had to tap it into the actual brake signal coming from the vehicle, which is the blue wire. Spade connectors on the ends, out, make sure it's going towards the plug, and then add your yellow wire on the end. Then what I did is your ground wire, the white one, you want to make sure it's attached to metal. Leave enough hanging in here so that when you put this panel back in place or this compartment, you're not going to be pulling any wires. Self-tapping screw, I put it in right there on that panel. Brown and green wire, I ran underneath. I popped up this edge of this panel and ran my brown and green wire kind of underneath this inside edge here, all the way over to the passenger side of the vehicle. The only difference on our passenger side is we're going to have a single brown wire going for our running lights. Our running light wire is going to be purple on our passenger side, not brown. And then our brake and turn on our passenger side is going to be the same as driver. It's going to be blue. You're just going to make the connections the same way you did on the driver's side. Once you're done wiring everything up in the back, you go ahead and put all your panels back in place. I went ahead and put my 6-pole plug in place temporarily to test out everything to make sure it's going to work correctly. I'm going to simulate being hooked up to your RV. Tail lights, left turn, brake lights, right turn. That's going to do it for a look at an installation on Demco's diode wiring kit on your 2014 Chevrolet Captiva Sport.